Yeah, it's a little past 11 a.m. on a Saturday, which means that it's time for the Saturday Rad Chat here on the Rad Mom channel. I had a bit of a doozy of a video this week. Lots of comments on that one. Wait till they see next week's, which I have already filmed in the software. It's not in the can, so to speak, because, well, I need more space on my phone. I'm gonna have to delete all my apps again. Because it's 35 minutes, but it's worth it. Yeah. I took an hour. No. The second one is over 2 hours, I think. And squished it down to 35 minutes for y'all, so you're welcome. And there's still nobody here. So, kind of hanging out. Kind of waiting. Kind of have my hair sticking up every which way. Because, you know, I'm on camera, so of course I do. Why would my hair behave? It's silly. That almost works. How did I have it last time? I do not remember. Isn't that good? Oh, God. Hi, Mary. How you doing? What's up? Ooh! Sorry. Are you freaking kidding me right now? Oh, my gosh. I'm having a hectic morning. I just bumped the thing and then ripped the sole off of my shoe. You know, just for context. But, oh, that's no good. Did you, like, do a shit ton of walking or something? You have to watch me super glue my shoe back together. Not because the shoe fell apart. Like, I have a lift glued on the bottom of it because one of my legs is shorter than the other. And I want to be able to walk, you know, at all. So. Walk too hard. Well, I mean, you live in an urban area, right? So it's all concrete, right? That's not going to help. I know for somebody like me, I'm loose jointed, so like that kind of thing makes a difference after a while. I'm just not quite pulled together tightly enough. Yep. I know this looks like kind of mad, but boy, if it didn't take 90% of my hip and back pain just away. It's non-invasive, it's drug-free. I can't say it's not addicting because I do kind of wear my shoes all the time, but as far as pain solutions go, I think it's pretty good. I've looked into it a little bit and they said anything less than an inch is not supposed to cause any pain. I think an inch is right around what I've got. I'm really not sure because the the guy I went to see about it, did not take me seriously. Shoes are important. That is so true. Good support, a good foundation, and everything else is built on, right? Mm-hmm. But so I was up late last night finishing the second part of the Jessie Gender video. Like, it's finished. I just need to get it downloaded out of the software and uploaded to YouTube. because after watching yesterday's and seeing the comments pouring in, I was inspired to go ahead and get that done. And get it over with. But, you know, I took like a 2-hour video and managed to squish it down to like 35 minutes. So, I suck as a man. I'll be a chick. Right? Oh my god. Like, that's one of my favorite things in the second half is he says something about people act like as a trans woman I have some sort of unique, especially masculine experience. And like, you were an Eagle Scout. Case closed. As a trans is, yeah. And, you know, he's got Lily Alexander on there talking to him, and whoever, Bellamy? I'm not familiar with that one. The one with the fluffy hair and the tattoos. The one who said that there's really no such thing as masculinity. Eyeshadow does not make you a woman. No. And you know that it upsets them terribly whenever we try and define femininity by, like, whatever women do. You know, as opposed to whatever culturally imposed bullshit. They really, really don't like that. Any definition of femininity that you can't wear as a costume is one that they don't like. Right, that dude. I don't really know. I'm not familiar with that person. His voice really bothers me. There's something about the way that guy talks that, ooh, grates on my nerves very badly. Consequently, I've not gone and looked him up to familiarize myself with his work, as it were. Yeah, I'd never seen him before. I mean, outside of Jesse Gender's content, I'd never seen. He seems to do a lot of stuff like that, you know, interviews and chats with, you know, other people where he essentially gets them to say the shit for him. Which is why part 2 is really going to be a banger, I think, because that's the thesis of it, which is that, you know, the question of the first half was, what does he want? And the answer to that question is you to do all the work for him. Yeah. Because he talks about redefining masculinity. It's like, no. How people like, he says, people like me, you know, frighten cis men because we challenge their notions of masculinity. And it's like, no. You don't get to take credit for redefining masculinity after having gone the long way around to avoid that entirely. He lays out a plan for other men to do this work for him. And it's like one of the most entitled things I've ever seen. Thank you. I do try. Oh. And, you know, in a way, he is a fascinating case study. And that's how I'm trying to look at it. Because he's also extremely aggravating. You know, 4 hours is just a bit much. And, like, he literally claims that he doesn't care as much about the label of trans woman. I'm like, I don't believe that. You know, because this whole video, this video series, the 2-parter, was apparently sparked off by some Twitter mob. Because he was teasing Vosh. Which, like, way to poke the bear. Dumbass, you know. Teasing Vosh on Twitter, that's a good idea. That's a way to not get dogpiled, right? And then he's just like, how am I supposed to deal with all this? Well, you're not. If there are people on Twitter talking smack about you and saying things that are just obviously bullshit, you can feel free to ignore a lot of that. Who is Vosh? Okay, one of those, like, bread tuber bros with a tood, you know? Heavy set, dark hair, glasses, hoodie, you know. He's a lefty tuber with, you know, I believe he's one of the ones who came out of that wave of, like, atheist YouTubers, like, a decade ago. You know, and then they kind of ended up getting into politics. Anyway, his followers are not known for their, you know, kind generosity. Like, it's one of those, you know? It's not the sort of community that you would, like, tee-hee, poke them and run away and expect them not to come after you. Which is exactly what happened, apparently. What's up, little man? What's up, little man?
I just want to see you film your video.
What?
I just want to see you film your video.
Oh.
Oh, so this is live?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You should go back inside now and play.
Are all your videos live?
Goodness, no. Thank heavens. Go back inside. Go play.
Woo.
Oh, honey. Go play.
Ow, ow. Rock.
Yeah, so this whole thing was kicked off. I know, right? Oh my god. And so does he. And the baby talk is killing me. I hate that crap, though. Like, that's not cute to me. That's like, wait a minute, kid. What are you doing? And I don't know where that came from, because he didn't do that until a few months ago. I figure maybe he picked that up from a friend at school. Baby talk is not something I encourage, as you might imagine. But yeah, Jesse's whole video thing was, was kicked off because he felt he needed to defend himself against people on Twitter who were saying things about him that weren't true. And I thought that all adults in the internet age knew that, like, a lot of that shit you're just supposed to ignore for your insanity. Like, how does he handle being any kind of a celebrity or any kind of a name in any community whatsoever? You know, no wonder he's so stressed out. Yeah. Mind you, he doesn't actually get to that point until easily 2.5 hours in. You know. And he mentions that he expects most of the response to this video to be about that. And I had to be like, well, that's funny because I have no idea what you're talking about. The full extent of my knowledge of that situation comes from the video. Because, again, I did not actually look into that because who the fuck cares? Who cares? I don't care. Do you care? Like, actually care? You know, beyond a little bit of chit-chat here on the live, you know, about background for the video that we have. I don't care about Vosh drama. I don't care about Twitter drama. I probably haven't been on Twitter in a year. Which is not good. I'm gonna have to go back to that if I'm, like, gonna be promoting a book and shit. Which is what I get to do after I get off here today. I get to go do editing. Yay! Oh my god. Actually, it's rewrites. Is the way I should think of it. Because editing makes it sound like I'm just changing some wording and some spelling and whatever, and it's more than that, but yay, editing. Yeah, and it is also that. Like, it's really funny, because yesterday I was stuck for one reason and another on the last page for a while, because the software was being a bitch. The last sentence on the last page had that same verb thing that I had to go back and change all through number 3. And so I fixed it, and I just thought, yep, this is going to be fun. And back to the beginning I went. I got to page 5 the other day. Yay. Out of 140 some odd it is at 14-point type. Also, I changed the font to match the other two, which it's a very similar font, and it's probably something that no one else is going to notice unless you're a font nerd. I went from Bookman Old Style to Book Antiqua. Say that 5 times fast. Ugh. And actually, you may notice, well, if you notice, that's what happened. And I tried to create another file, like copy and paste it into another file so I didn't have to fiddle with the one that anybody might be looking at. And it did not want to let me do that either. For reasons I don't know. I can highlight it all. I can Control C, and then I open a new document and hit Control V and nothing happens. 1.5 space. No, I don't think so. But, again, the text is broken up pretty well. There's a lot of dialogue and a lot of, like, I have to stop myself breaking a paragraph every couple of sentences. Because that's my impulse. Like, every new thought is a new line. I should be a playwright, I guess. I didn't change the size of the font. It's still in 14-point type because from my perspective, from what I'm doing, it really doesn't matter what size the font is. It just means that those 5 pages I got through were actually more like 3. Gotta go out for a bit. You'll be back. I love you. Okay, be safe. It says there's a couple other people here. Perhaps someone else will speak up and want to talk to me. I probably shouldn't sit here and babble about Jessie Gender because I'm going to give away the entire second video. And I don't want to do that. But in case anybody's wondering, if it's not a hypothetical question, what does Jessie Gender want? There is an answer in the second video. He wants you to do all the work for him. Is what he wants. And he lays out a plan, for other men to redefine masculinity after having gone the long way around to avoid needing to do so himself. It's really quite something. It's a lovely day. Got a couple of likes. Thank you for that. Whoever is out there. Wish y'all would say hi. Make me sit here and talk to myself. Like, I can do that. Believe me. I could talk to myself for the United States at the Olympics. Okay? But, like, who wants to watch that? Is my question. I feel like nobody probably wants to watch that. Or the sort of person who might is probably not the sort of person I would want to. Right? Oh my gosh. But I have just been trying to think of Jesse as an interesting case study, which he is. He is a very interesting case study. He's got quite a lot of typical features going, doesn't he? He's not ex-military, but he was an Eagle Scout. Which surprised me more than... Mainly because I don't know too many Trekkies who are also Eagle Scouts. Really, that was the thing that surprised me. What up? Einstein was gender... Yeah, you were commenting on the video, weren't you? I briefly saw those, and I was on my way to get in here, so... I think I responded to one of them. I don't know. If I have not responded to you, I apologize. Just a one-woman show over here. How you doing? I love your handle. I don't know what it means, but it's really fun. I'm okay. Like I say, it's been a hectic morning. Chatting a little bit about, I was up late last night finishing the second part of the Jessie Gender series because, well, after watching the video yesterday and seeing some of those comments pour in, and I was inspired to go ahead and get that over with. So that's going to be up on Friday. And there is actually an answer to the question, what does Jessie Gender want? Well, I think I found it. I'm just trying to look at him as the interesting case study that he is. He's got a lot of typical features, but he's very articulate about it, which is the unusual part. Very articulate, verbose, one might say, even. I wonder... Oh. Anyways, I wonder a lot of stuff about that guy. And I mainly was just surprised by the Eagle Scout thing because I don't know a lot of Trekkies who are also Eagle Scouts. And I know a lot of Trekkies. That's kind of the subculture I grew up in. I heard someone reference The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy the other day as an obscure book. And I went, what? So, did you enjoy the video? Were you one of the people who was upset by the video? Did you come over here to give me a piece of your mind? Because it's cool. Like, where do we sit? I should have asked that, bro. Had to take a break from her channel and other political trans channels. It's getting really scary for us right now. I liked the video, actually. Oh, good. Thank you. So, no, it's getting really, really tense. It is. That's true. I don't really understand why. Now. Why now? That seems odd. But I'm actually sitting in Tennessee, which is has a lot of those stupid, but like, they tried to make hay about here in Tennessee, they passed something about banning drag performances from public spaces. By which it actually, I went and I just looked at it, and it states that you can't have a professional drag performance in a library. It doesn't mean they're not allowed to go there. And quite frankly, it didn't ban the kind of stuff that they do. If you don't have it as a, all you have to do is, do it pro bono, maybe. There was lots of wiggle room there, and and by drag, how did they define that? There was some question about, are they going to be enforcing any kind of gender norm in clothing in public spaces for anyone else? No, drag was defined as professional performers there in costume to do a show. So, like, if you happen to personally be a professional drag performer who is not dressed up and just wants to go to the library, like, that's fine. And I'm not sitting here defending conservative reactionary stuff, but sometimes it's assumed that conservatives are being reactionary when they're not, which isn't helpful. Can I ask, what was it that you liked about the video? Those drag queens are fully dressed. Have you seen stuff like the toddler beauty pageants? Oh, yeah. Those should be outlawed. Absolutely. Yeah. Those are a whole other sort of wrong. But, you know, my take on it is that before puberty, you don't have, like, the software upgrade for sexuality yet. You simply do not have the programming to understand that stuff. You know, and that's why it can mess with them. Any of it. Any stuff like that. And I don't care if people say those child pageants aren't sexual. Yeah, they fucking are. Why the fuck are you putting red lipstick on a 5-year-old? You brought up very good points. Jessie has some issues with her arguments. Yeah. And it's really... It's the way that everything that Jessie does is so self-serving. Everything is about Jessie. Everything is about justifying Jessie and what Jessie does. You know? That is really what irks me. After a while. Because like I say, ostensibly, that video series was inspired by an exchange about Vosh on Twitter. And like, he didn't even mention it until 2/3 of the way through the second video. So... It's a very smart individual. I'll tell you that. But intelligence is like an all-terrain vehicle. It does not mean that you won't get stuck. It just means that you get stuck in more inaccessible places. And, you know, it's sometimes I'm just overloaded with sympathy, you know, because every once in a while he reminds me of me. Many, many moons ago, you know, ooh. The strawberry blonde hair doesn't hurt either. We could be cousins. No, not right now. But I got roots coming in. You can see them. I went to try and get some more henna this week. It is the only thing that covers it. And they did not have any. Cheer. What is up with my hat? I'm a pretty far leftist anarchist, but I can't stand Vosh and the other leftist debate bros, to be honest. Right, because they're assholes, you know? It doesn't matter what your politics are, they're assholes. Now, as far as being an anarchist, you don't think that human beings in any way sort of organically form themselves into any sort of hierarchy? I'm really not super familiar with anarchism as a political philosophy, unfortunately. As I don't run into many. Me too. I dyed my hair purple to cover the gray, to be honest, and it's coming back. I'm an old. Oh dear. I'm sorry. I'm getting there. I'm gonna be 40 in October. And you know, this man across the street who is 60 and old enough to be my father, to be fair, but still, called me a kid a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, excuse you, I'm about to be over the hill, okay? I understand that my generation is lagging behind in certain life milestones, but I still get to be 40, don't I? Shit. I do. There are justified hierarchies. Parent-child, for example. I'm 49, lol. Right on. So we're both looking at a big one. Okay. So justified hierarchies. And how would you... justified. There has to be a method, a framework, some sort of a rubric for measuring whether or not a hierarchy is justified. I would think it would be, you know, how necessary it is for, like, life. The parent-child one, for example, is pretty integral, you know. Without that hierarchy, the child won't survive long. Yeah, 50 next March. Ooh, March what? My husband's is the 30th and my sister's is the 7th. I heard a stitch pop. Oh no. Summer dresses in the South are just a vital part of one's wardrobe. You know, the sun down here is out of this world. The 12th. An example of an unjustified hierarchy would be boss and employee. Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is, like, how do you define, how do you measure whether or not a hierarchy is justified, you know? Because if you're going to go around doing away with them, you got to figure out which ones got to go, right? So you got to figure out, you need to have like a, I don't know, a test or something to see if one is justified or not. I don't know if you can hear that. There was this big car. Oh. Can you see him? No, I guess he flew away. There was a big old cardinal. Just came right up here. Right, and boss employee is only necessary for the health of, like, the corporation. And corporations aren't people, so who gives a shit? If it is beneficial to all involved, or someone is not able to help themselves, a child or an adult in severe medical or mental health crisis. Okay. Beneficial to all involved, or someone, you know, or necessary for someone. Okay. Like, without it, they might die. You know, not necessary as in, your boss really needs you to write that report for him. Not that kind of necessary. Yeah. Okay. So, then you believe that society would come to sort of regulate itself? You know, like water would eventually find its level, so to speak? Or, I mean, because that's always the issue, is establishing a new order once you've torn the old one down, right? That always seems to be the problem they run into. Which is the one thing stops me being a revolutionary, honestly. Because starting a revolution is like having a child. You never really know where it's going to go or what it's going to do. Yes, I do. It does seem like before agriculture, it appears humans lived sort of like that as far as we can tell. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Before agriculture. That's a long time ago. And how long were we on this planet before that? Something like 250,000 years? Or something ridiculous like that? Like hundreds of thousands of years? What are we doing? You know, like, those were modern humans. What were we doing? And where did it all go? Before patriarchy. Yep. Bingo. I love that so many people know this already. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's fantastic. Same. Yeah. It's one of the big themes of the book that I just finished writing. Yep. That I get to work on editing this afternoon after I get off of here. Yay. And I don't know, have you found this? Like, the older I get, the more I have this feeling like there's something missing. Have you had that? You know, like whatever those humans were doing for all those millennia, you know, and wherever all that went. You're right, that's amazing. I'm jealous. I went into math. I'm not very creative. Hey, those two things do not go together. I am terrible at math, and you need to be creative to be good at math. Don't say that. I don't believe that. Because I know people who are good at math, because when you're not, you need to. You learn a little humility and to delegate certain things, you know, in life. But yeah, it's historical fiction, fantasy with, you know, themes. Like I was saying. Grandma. Very welcome. Yeah. So, long story short, Victorian historical fiction with witches. It's a 3-book series that I wrote the ending to about a month ago. And, yep. So I'm doing rewrites and stuff. Ah! Okay. I love learning little linguistic tidbits from other countries, so thank you. So that's... I do not have a published date. Like I say, I just finished, like, writing the thing, and altogether it's something like 135, 140,000 words. So it took a minute to write. And then there's a few decently large edits that I want to do. Because, you know, when you take a year to write something, by the time you get to the end, you've developed a lot of the ideas quite a bit more than you had at the beginning. So now I get to go back to the beginning and work my way through it again. I'm hoping to be talking, you know, looking at publishing by early next year. It's just sort of an obsession of mine. You know, I don't know if you've ever known anyone who wrote a novel, but it sort of takes over your life. And it grew out of, you know, all of my interests anyway, so you're welcome. I'm in the States now, Utah to be exact. I want to read it. I want you to read it. I would love you to read it. You know what? The rough draft of part 1 is actually available on the community tab. So you can go and take a look at that if you'd like. And I would love feedback, any and all feedback, because as I say, I'm still, you know, in the creative process, and that stuff is invaluable. Utah. Oh yeah. Mormons in desert, right? Being from Ireland, though, you're probably not Mormon yourself. Probably not. Not originally, anyway. I did subscribe. Aw, thank you. It's lovely to have people around who actually want to talk about stuff. Oh my goodness, that means I have to go and actually fix that scene today. Okay. No, I am not. I am a lapsed Catholic. I go to church at an Episcopal chapel. Very accepting of queer. They are. We actually attend the Episcopal church here in our town because that's where all the Democrats are. But they're 50s, 60s, and 70s, a lot of them. You know? Xers and boomers. So when I say Democrats, you know, the old school mellow kind, if that makes any sense. We are some of the youngest people in the room when we go there. By a decade. But he was raised Baptist, and I was raised by a Wiccan and an atheist. So, yeah, we mainly go there for the social aspect of it. Because, yeah, they're just the most tolerant. And it's right across the street from the big Baptist thing. The comparison is just really funny. Are you a member of the queer community yourself? If so, I imagine Utah might be a rough place to be. Right wing. Oh, sorry. Oh, it does. But I do consider modern Democrats to be right now. My niece is Irish pagan. Awesome. Yeah. No, yeah, modern Democrat, you're right. Someone, I hope it wasn't you, because yeah. I'm sorry about that. You wouldn't think that Tennessee would be much better, but this place is easily 50-50, and you would never know it looking at the map. Because most of the liberal people don't vote. They know there's no point. I was actually a member of the local Democrat committee for several years here after I moved here. Which is how I can tell you that the National Party doesn't give a shit about the local politics on the Democrat side here. They don't support them really at all. Besides your bare minimum. So there's actually a lot of queer people around here. There's a lot of liberal activity goes on around here. You would never know it. I was surprised. Right? Shoot, a lot of people around here that call themselves Republicans are actually quite liberal. Because when they say Republican, they mean like 1950 Republican. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, and stay out of my business kind of Republican, you know? But, of course, they vote conservative. Because Jesus or something. I don't know. Do you see the little guy in my icon? He's asking for a walk. I'm going to throw on some headphones and listen to you talk without chatting for a bit while we talk, if that's okay with you. While we walk. Yeah, no, that's cool. Hey, Philological, what's up? How you doing? Perfect timing. Is Einstein Bose here was just about to take her doggy for a walk. How are things over on the Emerald? No, Emerald Isle's Ireland. What is wrong with me? The jewel set in the Silver Sea, England. How are things over there? I'm just gonna visit my little glass friend again because obviously I haven't had enough this morning. We were just talking about Ireland because Einstein Bose is from there. Oh, you're in Northern Ireland from England. Okay, well, in that case, I stand by my question. How are things in the Emerald Isle? Been having some bother with my gender clinic this week, but otherwise I'm all right. How are things with you? Well, had a bit of a hectic morning, not too bad. I was up late last night finishing up the second half of the Jessie Gender series because I think I found the answer to the question of what does Jessie want. I'm sorry you're having trouble with your clinic. Relatable, like my doctor literally just... And the only reason we knew, like they did eventually send out letters, but my daughter called to try and make herself a doctor's appointment. And they told her that they don't do primary care anymore. Just like that. Bam, gone. So I hope it's nothing quite as drastic as that. We have to find ourselves a new doctor. Before I go, I'm in the USA from Ennis in County Clare. It's Gaeltacht. I do not know what that means. I can guess. Oh, so your doctor just straight up vanished? Yeah, just straight up left. Yeah, which I don't know if I told you all about this. It explains why maybe a month ago or so he did not feel the need to actually bother to read the test results that I had. Yeah, if he knew he was leaving, obviously. Irish speaking part. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Cool. So that makes you bilingual. Epic. Speaking as someone who's lived their entire life right in the middle of North America where anyone only... I speak like 4 dialects of English. That counts. But yeah, so I hope your problem with your clinic is nothing as drastic as that. You know, maybe they're just giving you the runaround on your meds or some shit. So what's going to happen? Are they transferring your paperwork to an... No. No. I just have to start making phone calls and find a new one that takes our insurance. That's all. You know, don't get me started on the American healthcare system. I mean, it is notorious, is it not? Convenience is not a thing that they do. Mm-mm. Continuity of care is your responsibility. If you don't actually like understand something about your diagnosis or your background, you better write that shit down. They might get a file. There's a good chance they won't read it. Almost as drastic? Really? Damn, I'm sorry. And if they do read it, there's a decent chance. I've actually had a doctor pull the wrong file for my son one time. I had taken him in there, and they gave him the wrong fucking treatment. I'd taken him in there for a rash. And they put this, he pulled the wrong file. And they put something on it that made it worse. You know, if this were Los Angeles and I were a movie star, I could have sued. Basically, I'm really overdue for a checkup because I can't get an ordinary GP's appointment here. My GP has to refer me for blood tests, which I need before a checkup. Your GP can't do blood tests. Excuse me. And because the last time I saw them, I told them I was detransitioning, I think they've technically discharged me as a patient, so they can't just keep prescribing my usual hormones for me. That should be an official thing that you have to sign off on, should it not? I mean, the fact that you mentioned it shouldn't be enough to terminate care. What the fuck? You know, and I don't necessarily... I didn't realize that you were detransitioning. I guess there's a story there, huh? But that's heavy. But, you know, I'm not sure that, you know, synthetic hormone injections are good for anyone. Just generally. But I know that going off them cold turkey is probably not good for you either. Yikes. So how's that going for you? Shit. Oh my god. I mean, I'm very familiar with some of the hormonal birth control horror stories, and it is the same hormones, is it not? Esteradol and some, I don't know. I'm sure you know more about it than I do. I didn't sign a thing, but I did receive a letter basically summarizing the contents of our discussion and confirming my desire to transition. Aren't you supposed to do that? Isn't that your responsibility to confirm your desire? Man, if Aldous Huxley could see y'all now, huh? Goddamn. Yeah, basically, when I peaked, I was listening to a lot of gender critical stuff full time, so I kind of assumed that all dysphoria was just internalized sexism or whatever. And I thought now that my mentality was different, I would be okay. Well, yes and no, right? I'm guessing. Because, you know, a lot of that stuff is psychosomatic. And I don't mean that it's all in your head. I mean, it is. But so is everything. Like, color is all in your head, right? You know, I mean, that's one of the wacky things about material reality is like all the things we see that are, you know, the color is the one color that they really aren't. Right? So that's fun. My dysphoria got worse as the physical effects from hormones started to wear off, but that wasn't the worst thing. My mood started to really dip the longer I was off hormones. After 2 months, I was majorly depressed and suicidally volatile. Volitional? Oh, okay. So you were actually trying to act on it. So I started taking the hormones again just to see if things would change, and within a week or two, I felt normal again. Right. Well, because your body's adjusted to it, probably. I don't know how long you've been on them. But that's how that works, right? You know, eventually you get used to it. And I wager your brain gets used to it. And yeah, I know that coming off of any hormones can really just send your mood and your mental state for a loop. And that's an understatement, like a major understatement, I know. I got lucky in that I was on hormonal birth control off and on for 20 some odd years. And it did not really do much in the way of that to me. I have a friend who will not take it because it makes her crazy. No, I wasn't trying to act. It was more like, it would be nice if that car had run me over. Ah, okay. I've tried going off twice and had the same effects. Have you tried maybe tapering off of them while starting an antidepressant or something? Or maybe St. John's wort or something? I mean, maybe, to be honest, it didn't seem like it was going to get better with more time. It was just getting progressively worse. Right. Well, and, you know, eventually I'm sure that your brain will get the message. I mean, I don't know if you've had perhaps things removed that might generate, you know, endogenous hormones. I don't really know exactly where you are in your journey there. Um, but obviously, you know, if you can't produce any hormones yourself, then you're going to need some kind of supplementation of one kind or another. But I don't know. You got lucky. I've heard some women get really seriously affected by birth control. Right. It's fascinating that some are mostly immune. Right. It really didn't do anything to me that I noticed. And when I came off of it, I was still attracted to my husband and still the same crazy person. You know, like, God, I wish that I could blame, you know, some of the moodiness on hormones or whatever, but I think it's just life being shitty, really. Sometimes just piles up on you, you know? Anyway, I've tried tapering off them. Right now, I'm actually taking a very low dose because I don't have much left. I'm like, okay, I can get by. But I don't feel as happy as I did back then. Like I say, you might supplement with maybe an herbal antidepressant. Um, there are a couple of different ones that I know of. St. John's wort. And then there was another one that actually that douchebag doctor recommended to me that I haven't looked into yet. I was gonna. I'm pre-op, so that wasn't the issue. As far as I could tell, I went back to producing testosterone as normal. Were you terribly depressed before? I mean, you know, is that just kind of baseline for you, maybe? Unfortunately, here comes a big truck. Because Tennessee. Or, you know, and I know it sounds stupid, but I'll be damned if I haven't been so much less depressed since I have made myself, like, live outside and, like, do shit in the yard. Maybe. Presently, I'm doing a lot of daily exercise, and that's helping a bit. I think so. Okay. Okay, yeah, no, the daily exercise, and since I'm going outside and we have neighbors, that means I have to get dressed every day. And it gives my days this form, this structure that they would not have, like, internally if I was indoors all the time. I felt very similar when I went off hormones to how I was as a teenager. I started engaging in lots of the same behaviors, like drinking a lot, etc. Yeah. Okay. Well, so that maybe might be more of your foundational issue then, you know? I mean, God knows chronic depression is a thing. My suspicion is that I was similarly depressed as a teenager, but I'd never experienced any different. My sister had been encouraging mother to have me checked for depression. Well, and you know, I mean, forgive me, but I don't necessarily think that somebody needs to be checked for depression. Do you really, I mean, has life looked like shit for the vast majority of the last ever? You're probably depressed. You know, do you feel kind of like you live in a dark pit? You're probably depressed. I mean, like, really, like, it's pretty straightforward. It's shit. I want to say there's a blood test they came up with, but I might be imagining things. But yeah, I don't know. Considering, at least over here, there are various remedies that are readily available without a prescription, without having to see a doctor. You know, I would go ahead and start, just assume you have some depression going on there and start poking at it. Gently. Gently. We don't want to swing manic, do we? No. Oop. We're back. This convo on hormones is interesting. Menopause is a bitch. I can't take hormones. I have BRCA. I am trans, though. NB and trans masculine a little. I have no preferred pronouns, though. Okay. I do not know BRCA. Unfortunately. What is that? Ugh. They, them makes me happy, but I'm not particular. Well, if I'm speaking to you. Oh. Okay. And so you can't take the hormone replacement because it might aggravate your breast cancer susceptibility. Yeah. Gotcha. And being trans masculine. Boy, I relate to that. I don't know if you have looked through any of my older content, but I went through all of this back in the day before it was cool. Maybe, although from my perspective, I'm fine to just keep taking cross-sex hormones. For me, it kills two birds with one stone. It reduces my dysphoria and also improves my moods. Okay, but, I do not know exactly what the long-term effects of that are. I know that the long-term effects of testosterone on a female body can be quite devastating. And I wouldn't want anything like that for you, you know. Seems like we have a little bit of a lag going. I never knew that testosterone was risky for people with breast cancer susceptibility. That's interesting. They warned me about that with estrogen, but I assumed not. I think she's talking about estrogen, hormone replacement. I think that's... No, maybe not. Maybe I'm the one who's confused. But, basically, anything you do to your endocrine system is going to up your cancer risk.
Well, have you found Cole anywhere?
Why, no, I haven't. You better go find him. And when you find him, give him a piece. Tell him to come here, because I'm going to give him a piece of my mind for disappearing. Okay? I am. It's estrogens for menopause symptom relief. Okay, yeah. But yeah, estrogen. I don't know about testosterone, but estrogen definitely does, yeah. So, philological, I guess we are talking about estrogen. So, no headline here. Just the same stuff we all already knew. But like I say, I'm not sure what the long-term effects of it on a male body would be. I hope that they are not as drastic as the reverse can be. But yeah, as far as NB trans masculine, my floofy dress notwithstanding. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I did the whole trans masculine thing 20 years ago before it was cool. And, pushed my way through that woods. I hear you. My clinic informed me of all the risks. There's not tons of research on it yet, but from the little I've seen, there aren't tons of risks with the hormone cocktail I take. Well, I hope not. And, personally, I'm one of those people, I would prefer not to be reliant on, says the lady who's, smokes cigarettes, but ideally, it'd be nice not to have to go and pick up the thing you need to get through the day, whatever it is. Cigarettes, hormones, food. Okay, fine, but me too. I've been like this for a long time.
In the bathroom.
I'm sorry.
What's this?
Mine.
How does it work though?
It doesn't. Don't worry about it. I never went on tea. Thought about low dose, but just never did. You know, yeah, I thought about all kinds of stuff. But again, this was back in like 2004 when I was really thinking about any of that. And I did not. I knew one person actually.
Who was it?
A friend of mine who went by Connor. Yeah, we don't talk anymore.
Why?
Oh, because we had a disagreement. A bad one.
What was it?
Not really important right now.
I wanted.
Definitely, that's actually why I tried to go off a second time. I just wanted to be done with the hassle, but not being on hormones made life much more of a hassle than just going for checkups is. I mean, yeah, you gotta pick your poison. You gotta choose the lesser of two evils a lot of the time. Hey, boo-boo, you're super cute, but this isn't the Owen show. And if I let it be, it could totally be the Owen show. So very easily, right?
I
Go find your brother. Go find something to do.
want.
Go on. Please. Please. Go in the house.
I want to stay with you.
Baby doll, I'm talking about a bunch of boring grown-up stuff.
I want to stay with you.
I love you. But I'm talking about a bunch of boring grown-up stuff with a bunch of boring grown-ups. Okay?
But I want to stay with you.
You just want to stay with me because your brother's in the bathroom. You don't want to be in there by yourself. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
He's adorable, looks like a handful. Hey, rad kid. Yes. He is a handful and a half. Aren't you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Go knock on the door and tell him to get out of the bathroom. Or go play with whatever you guys were doing before he went in there.
Eba.
Please.
Eba. Eba. Eba.
Ow! 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 What the what?
What is it?
I don't know. Did you dig your fingernails into my leg or something?
No.
That's what it felt like. But like, I didn't see it, and there's nothing sharp on the pillow. You know what's weird? Oh, it's on the other leg. Hi. I love you.
I love you.
You feel like...
Hey, Owen.
apparently Cole is in the bathroom.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Hey, Cole. Oh, Owen.
Yeah.
Would you like to start walking with Daddy at night before bedtime?
Where?
Up the hill and down, like around the block and stuff.
No.
Maybe I'll carry you on my back.
No.
No. No. Oh, I gotta pee.
Mommy.
What's up, baby doll?
I want to stay with you every day.
Uh-huh. We've been together here at the house every day for a week since you got out of school. So there you go. Go in the house. Go get your brother. Go tell him I want to see him.
I did tell.
Tell him again. Mm. I'm sure this is riveting. Just riveting viewing right now.
Hey.
Hi. Will you pour me another cup of coffee, please?
Sure.
Thanks.
What's your coffee to creamer ratio?
3 to 2.
Oh.
Or no, one. Like,
1 bit?
just make it nice and creamy and sweet. Make iced coffee, okay? So you don't need as much creamer because ice.
Alright.
But still, like a good, you know.
I got you.
Owen, please go in the house.
I want to stay with
No. Hey, Belle, how's life in Ulster? It's alright, except that getting a GP appointment is bloody impossible. I'm sorry. There's a new office in town taking new patients, but they don't take my insurance. There's art everywhere and also broken glass for some reason on like every street. Oh yeah, I have family in Derry. It's a beautiful city. Have you ever been? Again, I've been stuck in the middle of North America all my life. I'd love to go anywhere. But I guess specifically I need to go to England because silly me, I wrote a book set there and I've never been there. So, you know, ideally, I would love to go do location research before I publish the damn thing, but did y'all know they added a
How did the live stream go?
It's still going!
Oh, it's still going. I'm so sorry. You were playing with Owen. I didn't realize. I love you. Hey. Here you go.
Thank you. Close that door on your way in, will you?
Yep. Love you.
Love you. Is Belfast near Derry? I could just look at a map, but you know, I would rather stimulate conversation. Rad Mom. So, is there no GP's office in your area that takes your insurance? Oh, I'm sure there is. I just have to find them. Oh, nice. I went after the GFA. I voted yes. So you emigrated after a certain bill passed or something? I mean, it's literally 1:15. Normally we're still going at this time, right? I feel like the assumption fell the wrong direction there. Fair. You're a Republican? I am, despite being British. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that in Ireland, Republican means something a little different than it does over here in the States. And frankly, I can't speak to Irish politics much. So. Now, UK politics, I have tried to follow for ages. Mainly just because in Ireland, yes. Here in the States, absolutely not. That's awesome. Gaelic, I am not going to mangle. Yes, Republicans, from what I can tell, are the good guys in Ireland. Cool. They're not the ones that, you know, recently, like, banned abortion, are they? The Unionists, those who want to stay in the UK, are in Northern Ireland. Here in Northern Ireland are absolutely insane. Well, you know, they do have a long and recent history, and when I say they, I mean those involved in conflict over there have a long and recent history of lots of zany antics, haven't they? That much I do know. That much has gotten over here. Well, you know, that every once in a while here in Appalachia, you do run into somebody who has family over there. Who actually knows their family over there. Wager a lot of us do. The GFA is the series of compromises that settled Ireland. Gotcha. Yeah, every June 12th, the Unionists light bonfires stacked with photos of Irish politicians and Catholic memorabilia. Those people are their neighbors, are they not? We can hear the water. So jealous. Hey, I'm outside. And like, if you walk through some of the worst Unionist areas of Belfast, people have swastikas graffitied on their walls. I don't think I have to tell my audience that, you know, the Catholic Protestant thing is strange to me. You know, again, my religious background is strange. My dad is a Wiccan priest, and my mom is a longtime atheist. So, like, the theological differences are so small. I think it's really more political at this point anyway, though, isn't it? Really? I mean... They are neighbors, yes. Sometimes if you walk over the next street, you're now in a Catholic area. And, like, don't get me started about how the Anglican Church even got started, right? Like, that's so ridiculous. The idea... And I know a good deal about the English aspect of, you know, the Catholic versus Anglican thing that has gone on for fucking centuries. Me too, actually. In the Republic, I think a lot of us are more relaxed about it, and we have our share of radicals, but we have our share of radicals too. Well, you know, everywhere does. And I saw in a video somewhere, someone posed the question a while, like probably a couple of years ago now, whether or not the group at large is responsible for the radicals in their midst. I'll be honest, I still have not come up with what I consider a satisfactory answer to that question. Because if so, what do you do with them? It's a cultural thing. Okay. So it's beyond political. Not necessarily actually spiritual, though. Like... But apparently, there's a more radical wing of the major Unionist Party that is actually religious, and their leader thinks that dinosaurs are fake. There it is. Yeah, see. A lot of the news coming out of Ireland the last decade or so has had a very strong religious flavor to it. And I'm just like, but I thought we were all past that. I thought we were better. You know, and again, like Catholic versus Anglican in particular, I have to bite my tongue to not laugh. Like, again, I attend an Anglican church, okay? I'm not, you know, pissing on the Episcopals, okay? That's not what I'm trying to do. Exactly, Belle. I was trying to explain being culturally Catholic to a Mormon, and they were just not getting it. I'm sorry. What's not to get? What's not to get? Like, most people live in, some sort of remnants of the trappings of a religious tradition, do they not? Like, the most obvious, blatant case was I almost married a guy who his grandmother sat on the board of a group of the secular Jewish society. Okay, so these are people who are culturally Jewish, but they are not religious folk, and they were all 80. Mormons take their religion very seriously. You're in or you're out. Well, yeah, right. Okay. For a Mormon, I can see how that might be a foreign concept. But most people live, with the trappings of the remnants of some sort of religious tradition, right? Christmas trees and all that shit, right? Being culturally Christian. We celebrate Christmas and do Easter egg hunts and shit, right? But, like, I am not, nor have I ever been a Christian. So, it's like that. Only more specifically Catholic, I assume. Which, this sounds stupid to say, but it's true. One of my best friends is a Catholic. And I've noticed that the older religions, the adherents of the older religions, tend to be more mellow with their beliefs. Regardless of how intense their personal feelings about their beliefs might be. It's like I don't know, in order to be around as long as Catholicism or Judaism have, you have to learn to be a little chill with other people because you're going to meet them. Exactly. Most Americans are culturally Christian. Right. Most Americans are culturally Christian. And I think that's what they mean when they talk about a Christian nation, really. And they pretend not to understand the difference between culturally a thing and spiritually believing and following that thing. Which, again, I feel on a gut level, most people of an average intelligence could be at least led to understand that distinction pretty quickly, really. Maybe not Mormons. Maybe people who I don't know. I meet true believers, true believers who have never really stepped outside of that paradigm all their lives. Are like a different animal. Like, they're human, obviously, but like they're from a different universe, maybe, is what I mean. I don't know. It's kind of unreal to me. I can't quite get my mind around what that must be like. And in my experience, most of the actual clergy are so much more relaxed than the right-wing Catholics. I've been here since the 2000s. I didn't grow up here like you, but it seems that way to me. Well, I certainly didn't grow up anywhere near Utah. I'm trying to think. I'm not certain I've actually ever set foot in Utah. So, and if you've been in the U.S. for 20 some odd years, then you're aware that regionally it can be very different. I'm on my phone and typing is messed up. My apologies. No worries, no worries. I'm doing my best to parse. Let's see. See, and this is living in my head. I read that as Grandma Bell, which makes me think of Ma Bell, like the old telephone company and the ELO song. Yeah. So now I have Jeff Lynne singing in my head. For no reason, really. Either of y'all music fans? That's what I did, my first original incarnation. I was a musician, a songwriter. We had a piano in my living room growing up and all that stuff. Belle's making me nostalgic. It's like when I talk to my family. Thanks. That's awesome. Taste of home, eh? Oh, that's sweet. Because it is. Yeah. Yeah. I love the little connections that get made, Sometimes that's the best stuff. A few weeks ago, I had 2 people make up on my live stream. It was awesome. They were friends again. It was awesome. I've picked up the lingo a little bit. Have you ever lost? I have even lost some of my British accent. Was talking in a group call with internationals, and the British guy assumed I was Dutch. You're grand too. What's the crake? I'm a music fan, but I listen to weird shit. Dude, same. Like, I have been using, music as a writing aid and, like, going back and looking at the playlists. I started off with a lot more, like, sort of pop and, rock style stuff and have wandered slowly into, like, ambient and cinematic. Like, pronounced crack. Oh, nice. Yeah, you cannot walk up to people in the United States and say, "What's the crack?" Nope. Don't think that would work. I remember when my son was like 12 and they first started calling people crackheads. Yeah, it's like, well, you don't know what that means, do you? No? Well, then please don't use it. I don't think that worked. But probably just went to Urban Dictionary and looked it up. Well, alright, come on, I'll bite. What kind of weird shit do you listen to? Come on. Lay it on me. I might have heard of it. There's a decent chance. And, like, there's a Moldy Peaches song. What up, Mary? Mary's back. What up? There's a Moldy Peaches song called Who's Got the Crack? And it's funny. Anybody knows the Moldy Peaches? Steak for chicken. What? Oh, by Moldy Peaches. Right. Okay. Oh my god. Who's Got the Crack is the only one that I have kept with me in here. But I might know that one if it's from the album that I'm thinking of. I listen to a lot of dungeon synth. It sounds like fantasy video game music. Also a lot of medieval music. Well, of course medieval music.
Yes.
I did not call you, baby boy.
Well, I heard someone call our name.
Sif John Stevens is amazing. Chicago is like one of my favorite songs ever. It makes me cry every fucking time I listen to that song. I mean, and there's something that kind of mixes like your pop structure with like a cinematic. What's the word I'm thinking? Like bent, like atmosphere, like. Again, not going to butcher the Gaelic. Lower back pain. Other than that, I'm good. Boo, back pain. You know, I was telling him earlier about the lift I wear on my shoe. I don't know if I've talked about this. I do. Because, turns out one of my legs is longer than the other. And, like, once I started doing this, 80 to 90% of my hip and back pain, gone. Non-invasive, drug-free, you know. And, they say that anything less than an inch difference in your legs shouldn't cause you any significant pain, and I think they may be full of shit. How do you do the highlight? Can you do it on iPhone? That's a good question. And like I've been to see an orthopedist. That's what I was looking for. About it once, and he did not take me seriously, so I'm not exactly sure what the difference between my legs is. I think it might be about an inch. But I literally just take a sandal and glue it to the bottom of one shoe. Man, it is easily 80% of my pain gone. Just like that. I don't know, I'm on my computer and don't have an iPhone. So, you know, I mean, I would ask you, does one hip always hurt you? You know, is it always on one side? Because that was really the big tell for me. That was the side that's longer. Wouldn't you know it? It takes more weight when you walk. You know, and has to pivot funny to compensate for the shorter leg. And, like, I had to learn to walk again. Oh, Gwen. I am Sarah. Nice to make your acquaintance, Gwen. I love that name. Is it short for Gwendolyn? And like I've tried proselytizing about the shoe lifts before. Because I have a real strong suspicion, for various reasons, that there are a lot of people out there who have hip and back pain that they don't need to have. And everyone has always blown me off. And I don't know that anyone else has ever actually tried it, so. Yeah. For what it's worth. Take it or leave it. I mean, I would think, you know, having a potential way to just make a lot of your pain go away would make people curious, but nice to meet you. I'm named after my mom's Welsh great aunt. Oh, nice. Yep. I am not named after anybody. Thank goodness my mom picked, you know, a classic name. I've always loved Gwen, though. Just the sound of it. I don't know. It's beautiful. Doesn't have an R smack in the middle of it, which is an ugly sound. Oh well. I actually have quite a bit of Welsh in me on my mom's side. They're Davis. So. It was originally with an IE, too. But I guess they changed it at some point. It's the boring spelling now. It's also how I happen to know that I'm pretty sure all Welsh people are a little mad. You know, myself included. I definitely got it, whatever it is. Oh no! I'm missing something. What else is new? Oh gosh. I've got to run. Need to shop and stop being lazy and get Kate to stir my tomatoes. Ooh! Yes! Go tend to those tomatoes. Happy gardening! Thank you for stopping by. Lovely to meet you, and we'll see you around. Did you make it in time before the end? Why, yes, you did. This has been so fun today, how we've just always exchanged sort of one person for someone. Every time somebody leaves, somebody else comes on. It's great. I need to finish getting that dirt shoveled over. I don't want to do that. Have a good day. I hope it's as sunny there as it is here. Or you're in the desert, so maybe not. Anyway, I hope the weather is good, whatever that means for you. It's yucky and rainy in Pennsylvania today, huh? Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. We had that last week. With any luck, next week you'll get this, where it's 80 degrees and sunny, and basically summer. It's coming, don't worry. I mean, it's June, right? It can't rain forever. It's okay. Yesterday was 96. Okay. Wow. This weather, you know, it's just kind of all over the place, isn't it? Oh my god, when I get off here, I have to actually go and edit that fucking book. Oh my god. I gotta go fix that scene. Oh my god, if somebody's gonna be reading it, I gotta go fix that scene. I did this to myself. I know that. And anyway, what a problem to have, right? Shit, 20-year-old me is pissing herself right now with excitement. Okay, like, double spaced so it's easier on the eyes to read. Alright, maybe 1.5. Okay. I feel like it's going to look to anyone else who happens to look at it that I'm trying to take up space. I'm going to Valencia in a couple of weeks, and I'm worried it's going to be too hot. That's in Spain? I assume you don't mean California. Valencia is in Spain, right? No, it isn't a paper, it's a book. Make it easy to read. Yeah. Well, you know how it is. You're always your own worst critic, and you're always afraid people are going to think the worst. You know? Mainly, I'm wary of anything that might put people off because I just want people to read the damn thing. I think the work speaks for itself, but you have to actually read the damn thing. Especially if the audience is young adult. It's not, though. It's not, though. I see why people say that. Rock on to Spain. I hear it can get quite fucking hot down there. Yes, ma'am. Sir. Yes. I've heard this. Sorry. I just have a thing where I say yes, ma'am to everyone. Sorry. Oh, I thought that was the target audience. No. And mainly because the second and third book get, like, kind of dark and heavy, you know, because, well, for one thing, the character grows up. Like, by the end of the first book, the character is an adult. Okay? So, the second and third book, you know, are all adult, and they're not all adult stuff, but, like, no, and I've had this conversation several times because, I mean, yeah, if you read the first few chapters, there's a bunch of children in them. And it's first-person perspective from, you know, told from the point of view of a child. So, you know, young adult. And there's not, you know, drastically horrible shit going on to let you know that it isn't young adult, right? I've noticed a lot of times people do shit like that. I should read past her having her diaper changed, is what you're saying. That would be good. That would be good. Yeah. But, like, that's the scene I need to fix today, so. Because I have an entire character to add into that scene, and 2 or 3 others right there at the beginning of the. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why did I do this to me? I know why I did it. God damn it. Like, I don't know. Like, Lest isn't here, and she's the one who usually jumps on all my, you know, writing ramblings. So, I don't know if I want to ramble about this to you guys and have you be bored. But suffice to say, I left out an entire character because he doesn't really materially affect, like, the plot. And then I decided I wanted to put him back in. Because he affects the other characters, you know. Duh. I'm sorry Lest isn't here. Oh. You don't have to apologize for that. It's not like I feel let down or something. I just don't want to bore you guys, you know, with a bunch of writing ramblings. You're not interested in that stuff. We'll talk about other stuff. You know, shoot, we can talk about other aspects of the book. Goodness knows there are a few. It was pretty fun, because Gwen, you know, earlier jumped right on one of my major themes when we weren't even talking about it. So, that was pretty cool. I don't know if either of you guys saw that. But I enjoyed that quite a bit. And I think, like I say, the work is going to speak for itself. And I think that it's going to find a home with some people because... Hi.
See you later.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna go smoke some weed and go door dashing later. I should be back before door dashing. I'm not gonna take the minivan to Kingsport.
Yeah, good call.
But you got your buds. I'm gonna go try it out. Love you.
Love you. Let me know how it is. Those poor employees, only one toilet and it was flushed consistently. Eee. It's like living at our house. Yeah. Yes. I do not believe she knew the camera was rolling. So we're just going to ignore that. Okay? Oh my god. You did that for 3.5 years? Nice. Yeah, right. No, I mean, it's not a bad, broke your arm on the 7th. Right, yeah, no, you told us about that a while back. She's having better luck than that. But she's not actually doing the door dashing. It's her friend who does it and she rides along. Which sounds boring as shit to me, but the fuck do I know? No, I believe she actually just quit her job at McDonald's yesterday. Or the day before. See, that sounds boring as shit to me. Unless, I mean, it depends on who it is, If it's somebody I can really have a good conversation with, then yeah, I'd be down for that all day. Like as a teenager with nothing better to do, even as a teenager, I had better things to do. Even as a teenager, I was always on a mission. Researching something or trying to, put something together or whatever. I am a nerd and I've always been a nerd. I mean, is it Robert K. Massey who wrote the big biography of Nicholas and Alexandra that's like 400 pages long or whatever it is? Yeah, I read that in the 7th grade. Well, most of it. I skipped over the military stuff because I don't care. Come on, let's get back to the romance already, Let's get back to the intrigue already. Who gives a shit about military tactics? I mean, come on. I don't care if it's World War I. Who gives a fuck? Yeah. Oh, God. Y'all ever read about, the Russo-Japanese War of, I think it was 1905? Your parents did meet at Mensa. I would expect nothing more than you being a huge nerd. Yeah. Yeah, guilty. Oh, history, especially. I think it was Gwen earlier who was saying that she's good at math and not very creative. And I was like, those two things do not go together. What are you talking about? I'm bad at math, and I've seen people who are good at math, and you have to be creative to be good at math. That's problem solving of a kind that I do not understand. But yeah, so pretty much unless I'm going to have a good conversation with somebody, then I could be down for that. But I'm just not up for being out all day. I don't know. Oh, I want to teach you multiplication tables. Yeah, well, funny you should say that. That's the part that I missed. Have I ever told you that story? Because, yeah. I went to 4 different elementary schools in 5 years. Yeah. I did figure it out eventually. So, I am that good at math at least. That I did eventually figure out that 5 times 5 is 5 times, etc. and so forth. But, yeah, I don't know that I could reverse engineer any more than that. I certainly could not reverse engineer long division in the 2nd grade. So, no. The neighbors are being super noisy today. I do apologize. We might go around the side of the house here in a minute. What is my battery looking like? Bad. The battery's not great. Well, and it's almost 1 o'clock anyway, so... Seems rather sudden to call it a day. I don't know. What are you guys feeling like? You want to hang out and kvetch about Jesse Gender some more, or you got stuff to do? Because I got stuff to do. There we go. There's our low battery warning there. Yeah. I got stuff to do that I don't want to do. That I need to do. It's up to me. Oh, you know, I would probably rather shoot the shit with you guys all afternoon than go ugh. And this is gonna sound really silly, but that woman is so aggravating. I don't want to see her. Hey Mary, how do you like DoorDash? Like the mother, Olivia, is so aggravating. I don't want to see her. And she's like all in the first book. Mm. Here comes a big plane. Because Tennessee. Oh, there's two of them. I can see them in the reflection in the glass. Oh my god, I hated DoorDash. Yeah, because rural Tennessee, you know, but they paid my medical bills. That's good. Rural Tennessee, where you can just randomly have, like, military jets fly over for no apparent reason. Yeah, it's good stuff. Ah, America. I think we have those here, too. Really? Because, like, I have spent most of the rest of my life in Indiana and Ohio before we moved down here, and I do not remember. I mean, maybe when they were having, like, the Blue Angel show over the lake, yeah. You know, but, like, in a city, you can't do that. You can't just fucking crop dust a real city like they just did us. It's ridiculously illegal, and will have you on at least a couple different radars with guys going, whoa, what are you know, what's going on, what are you doing? I'm thinking about doing DoorDash on Sundays to make a little extra cash. It's getting tougher to make those ends meet. I love the Blue Angel jet assisted C-130. Like, I'm not complaining, it's just unusual, that's all. The jet flyovers in what appear to be, you know, the edge of nowhere, just a little odd. They just stick out. That's all. There is an airport near here, but not like that. You know, there's like a little hobby airport near here. I doubt it's long enough for those things. There's an AAF close to Knoxville, and they use the airport here to refuel sometimes. That's why we get it. Oh, they do? Okay. Well, again, it's peaceful countryside, and then, like, you know, get buzzed by jets. It's different. Yeah, that runway is plenty big enough for jets. But sometimes we get World War II relics. Right, no, yeah, and that's cool. I feel like they're probably not as high powered as the modern ones. Just at a random guess. I am not an expert. Red, on the other hand, has actually had experience flying planes. So, We'll take his word for that. Gotta be careful not to turn this into rad aviation. Right, say. Yeah. That's alright. We all have our hobbies and our passions, don't we? We definitely go off into some corners here on the RadChat sometimes, I definitely do not hold us just to political topics. How in the hell you build a community that way? Have icebreakers at the beginning of meetings. Sadly, on the note of building community, I think I need to go because the phone is going to die. And, Glenn said she was going to go try and read the book, which is great. But, I need to fix that scene. I need to get my rewrites done. Go fix it. Yeah, I will. And, the computer has been charging this whole time. So I'm going to have a full battery to do what I need to do. It looks like Knoxville is going to have its Pride Parade. It's just being delayed. Okay. That's cool. Why is it being delayed? Is there something going on there that I didn't hear about? Probably. I'll see you next Friday morning for the premiere of the next section. Yes, you will. Because that one is going to be fun. Truly. I found an answer to what does Jessie Gender want. I really just titled it that. Because the one right before that was what does feminism want? And it just occurred to me that would be a good title for it. It just for some reason made me giggle so hard. And basically, is the answer attention? No. You noticed the duplicate titles? Because for some reason that just made me giggle so bad. I don't know why. No, he wants you to do the work for him. Yeah. He really badly wants other men to do the work of redefining masculinity for him. Now I think of it, perhaps unconsciously on some level, so that he can eventually detransition and stop having to worry about all the shit without having to go back to being a man. You have a good week too. It tickled me too. Okay, good. I was reading the Knoxville Reddit, and there was something in the news, but I didn't get to read it all. Probably something to do with the drag ban and working around it. That seems weird that would interfere with that. Isn't that what parade permits are for? Anyway, that's a whole topic for a whole nother discussion, which we're not having because we're trying to finish up. Well, to be fair, it is on me to redefine masculinity and take it away from the Andrew Tates of the world. I mean, yes. That's what I'm saying. It's he's not wrong about toxic masculinity. The issue is he made the video all about himself. And everything that he does is incredibly self-serving and self-justifying, okay? It's on men, not me. Right, no, I get, yeah. I kind of thought you were referring to yourself as a man. Which, you do your bit all the time. For that, you don't. Red is a man, yes. Full disclosure, Red is the one that I am married to. Yeah, so. And yeah, no, I don't disagree with anything that Jessie necessarily says about toxic masculinity. Yeah. When you say it like that, it sounds so scandalous. Oh my god. No, but it's the way that he reframes all that stuff about toxic masculinity. Oh, thanks. And turns it to serve his own ends and his own agenda and to validate his own identity. Because he makes everything an exercise in validating Jessie's identity. Right? All of his videos that I've watched anyway are about him. Straightforwardly about him. They're whole sections. My husband is so cute. I know, right? He's got his moments. But, you know, so it's not that I disagree with this stuff about toxic masculinity. It pisses me off that he, you know, uses it to such self-serving ends. And thereby demonstrates how others may do the same, while at the same time providing instructions those for other men, or at least urging other men to redefine masculinity now that he's gone out of his way to dissociate from it. You know, and to say, and kind of try to, you know, trans women like me scare cis men because we redefine, you know, what masculinity can be. It's like, how? Aren't you a woman? And, like, he tries to take credit for it, basically, after going a long way around to avoid it entirely. Because if he had just, you know, fucking redefined masculinity for himself, you know, he'd be justifying that, I guess. The poor man's ContraPoints. No, because where is Contra anyway? Actually, I've been wondering that. I haven't really investigated it at all. But where is Contra? I mean, I want to say the Trekkies ContraPoints, really, to be fair. You know. Contra tries very, very hard to be cool. I feel like Jesse is a lot less concerned with that. Nathan. Right, but where is he? He kind of dropped off the face of the planet, didn't he? Tell her store ContraPoints. No, like I say, Trek convention ContraPoints. Pocket protector ContraPoints. Like, I swear, I don't think Contra would probably be seen dead in one of those striped sweaters. With the stripes across here. Oh, how unflattering. I just want to... Is it weird that I want to help him? Nerdy Contra... Yeah, right. Exactly. Seriously, though, does anybody know anything about... Like, now that you've brought him up, does anybody know where he is? Is he drunk himself into a stupor in a gutter somewhere? Is he off working on a film project somewhere? Like, it literally could be anything with that guy. And now that I've made a point of it, I guess I will probably get around to trying to figure that out at some point. I don't know. You know, it's like you get sort of attached to people in a parasocial kind of way. It reminds me of the way I feel about Britney Spears. You know, like, I want to know how she's doing. Even though I really don't care, you know, I do. It's like, I don't know, Britney's different. She's got a special place in my heart because we kind of grew up together. Kind of. I'll find out. If I find out, I'll let you know. Thank you. Yeah. You know, I think there's a point to be made about the trans community and passing. How can a person make an informed decision on consent if the other person is actively deceiving them? Yeah. You're not saying transition and consent are mutually exclusive, are you? Boy, there's a video thesis for you. It could bring up a point on what counts as deception. I mean, we would have to define that, yeah, but I don't know. When you put it like that, it seems pretty straightforward that, yeah, successful transition would seem to be antithetical to consent, wouldn't it? Yikes. Okay. Oh my god. And the kids across the street have gotten the four-wheelers out, which, like, they don't stop that all day. Basically, from the time they come out until dark. It's just... No, transition and consent aren't mutually exclusive, but there is a broader society standard of what male and female display as. I mean, I don't know. I think there might be an argument to be made there because, like, if it's impossible to tell what sex someone is, how in the world can you possibly consent? Informed consent is not a thing in that situation because you can't possibly know what you're dealing with. Right? Oh my goodness. I actually saw something. Right, you can't consent to trickery. Exactly. I actually saw something yesterday, I think it was, about this community online of people who are essentially convinced that the entire world is transgender. Which is funny because they strike me as kind of the opposite, the other side of the same coin, you know, wherein they are just so preoccupied with the gender markers of everybody they talk to. And, you know, if we all are, no one is. Well, right, everyone but them, of course. Obviously. Huh?
What you
Hey,
got it? It's hide and seek tag, actually.
no, we didn't agree on that.
I want to say a woman convicted a man of a lesser form of rape because he told her he was rich, but in reality he was just renting a Lambo.
Please.
Well, I mean, that would be deception, yeah. But, I mean, I don't want to... Guys, come on! Somewhere else. We're going to wrap this up. Because if we don't, it's going to be wrapped up for us one way or another. You're not going to be able to hear me, or the phone is going to die. All day. All day with that shit. Thanks for being here, Mary. Thanks for hanging out with me, everybody, and making my morning just that much better. Just so much better. This has been a lot of fun. It always is. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a noise nuisance or something. Ooh, you have a birthday. Happy birthday. I hope you get to do something fun. Oh. Noise pollution, shit, yeah. At least he hasn't started yelling niggers. Yeah. Yeah, apparently if we leave the camera on long enough, we may get to hear that. Tennessee. Yay. Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. And here come the Jets again. Like, seriously, it is so loud out here today. I will see y'all on Friday for the conclusion of the Jesse Gender saga. I'm looking forward to it. And, yeah. Have a good week, everybody. Bye. Shit.